Hi, I'm Mark. I do ZZ a lot, but no one else does, so most of the tips that I'm going to give are pretty irrelevant, but I think this one is pretty important. This is a guide, or a tip, to make your F2L faster in one-handed by reducing the number of rotations that you have to do. Alright, so let's just get started. I come from a ZZ background. I know ZZ, I use it, and ZZ is all about minimizing the number of rotations that you have to do by reducing the cube into all good edges. Good edges are ones that you can solve with RUL. Let's just keep it at that for the moment. And the first step of ZZ is to get them all into good edges. But we don't need to learn how to do that. We just need to recognize how to know if an edge on the E slice is a good edge or a bad edge. And so that's why I started the video with this weird setup that's like not quite solved but not quite scrambled. So we see here a good edge. Well, we know it's a good edge because it's solved, but this is also a good edge. Why? Because it can be solved with the aforementioned RUL. This one is UL, and it can be solved. These are bad edges. Why? Well, this one, it's bad, or misoriented is the other way, and that name kind of gives it away. It cannot be solved with RUL. You have to do an F or a B move at some point to solve this. So no matter how hard I try, I'm not going to get this into the right place with RUL. What I have to do is, at some point, I don't know, RU, R prime, F, and that's going to solve it. But under no other circumstance is this going to be solved. How are we going to recognize and distinguish these edges from these edges? Well, the simple way to do this is we look at the sides. This one's orange and this one's red, the R and L sides. If we see one of those colors on the front, top, back, or bottom, then we know that that edge is a bad edge. We don't see this, so this edge is a good edge. But we do see this here, so this edge is a bad edge, this edge is a bad edge, and this edge is a bad edge. So in our E slice, we have two good edges, 1, 2, and two bad edges, 1, 2. All right. This isn't really a problem in two-handed solving because you can just rotate, and solve it. But in one-handed solving, this is going to be a problem. This is a bad edge because it's blue, right? Because you're going to have to, at some point, do an F move, which usually requires a rotation. And rotations are not very comfortable in one-handed, right? So we want to minimize them. What I want to show you guys today is how you can devise, I guess, a method to minimize the rotations. And how you're going to do this is by, let's just scramble, solve across, I don't know. Okay, so we're going to look at all the edges that need to be solved into the F2L, which are these. And we're going to group them into good and bad. This one's good and all the rest are bad, which means that I can solve this right now, but I can't solve these right now without rotating. So I'm going to solve the good edge first, or the good edges, normally. Then I'm going to rotate once. Now, by rotating once, you've changed the orientation of all the edges except for the one in the E layer. We'll get back to that later. But actually no, we'll just do it now. Okay, so we can't do this. We can't rotate right now because this orientation hasn't changed. Bad, bad. So we're going to have to take this out into the U layer, rotate. Now all of these are good. Now we can solve normally, but without rotations. Okay, OLL and PLL. Now, as you saw, this isn't really practical always, but it's nice to be able to visually see, okay, these edges are going to require rotation, the other ones aren't. And I think that's a really important skill to have in one-handed solving, because then you can plan out your F2L. Alright, so I guess we're just going to do two example solves now, or I'm going to do them, you're going to watch. The scrambles are in the description, and I'm going to start, I'm going to do this one-handed because this is for one-handed. Alright, so I'm going to plan my cross, these are my edges, and I see that I can move this one over, this one can come down, but I can put this one in here, like this, okay, RU2, R2, and I've got my cross. Now I'm going to look, so here's the first part. I look for my edges, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and now I see that this one is correct. This one's a good edge because blue or green is not here. Blue or green is not here, blue or green is not here, blue or green is not here. So all of these are good edges. I can just do my F2L and not have to worry about rotation. I'm going to put this one in. Alright, now I'm going to put this one in. Now these look like rotations, but they're actually L moves. So I don't really consider them rotations, but if you want to, then I guess I'm just saying nonsense and you can stop watching this video. Alright, now I see this COLL, and I'm kind of done. That was anticlimactic. I wanted to show you how to do that stuff, but I didn't get a chance. Hopefully, next one. Alright, same thing, look at a cross. This one can come opposite, this one can come over here and become opposite. And I'm gonna just start with that. I should have started one-handed, but alright, there you go. I rotated a lot during cross, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. Now I'm gonna look. My front is green, so my sides are orange and red. This is orange, so this is bad. This is not orange. This is not orange or red. This is not orange or red. I have this one, the orange-blue, that I should not be solving right now. I can do the rest perfectly fine. So I'm going to start with the red-blue. Alright, and now I'm going to go on to the green-orange, which is here. Alright, the green-red is right here. And now I have one more to do, but I can't do it right now because I'd have to do a B move, so I rotate once. And now this is correctly oriented because it doesn't have blue on top. I can insert and do OLL, PLL, and yeah, that is basically the gist of it. So to recap, what we're going to, what is helpful is, the first thing is to, of course, get the cross, but, alright, the first thing is to look at the edges that are not going to be able to be solved without a rotation, and look at the one that is, or the ones that are. In this case, it's just this one, so I'll solve this one first. Alright, and now after this, we know that the rest are bad. So as long as they're in the U layer, so that you can actually influence them with a rotation, we will rotate, and now all of these will be correct, and you can solve all of them without rotating. Again, this is just something that I noticed and picked up, and I thought it would be useful. Don't follow this as a hard rule all the time, but I think that this is useful for having a deeper understanding of the cube, and thus a better ability to control what you're doing and reducing the number of rotations. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe to Cubing Province if you would like, because I think it's cool, and you should too. Like this video if you liked it. I don't know what those YouTubers say these days, but yeah. Thanks for watching.